in addition to the previous video regarding the Jordans and Jordanians and the Israelis, video that is now uploaded to the channel, let me, perhaps this one will be uploaded, finished upload before, because it's going to be a short one. I have 2 points that are very important, not new ones, but incredibly important, and I want to use this opportunity to mention these points. First, and in a concrete way, it's now Saturday night, like almost morning of the Sunday in Israel. Tomorrow morning, which means Monday morning, I need to go to another hearing in the arrest court with regard to my arrest. I don't even remember maybe the 10th hearing in this arrest case that is almost a year long now. This is unbelievable. For a crime that not only I did not commit, and even if I had, it's unbelievable that a person without criminal record at all, and even if he had, it's like a super minor crime. And again, I was praying for it. But even if I wouldn't, such a long arrest and more and more hearings and countless, reviewers, attorneys. This is of course a totalitarian state that subjugates me and wants me to be their slave. This is a charade that is much more hideous than any Soviet trials famously that were shows. This is a disgusting show. But of course I must go there, otherwise they will put me in prison indefinitely. But I say very clearly, before I go, Monday morning, early morning, I'm going to throw all the content of the containers that I have in this room. Several of them, you've seen like in the last couple of days, and also microscopic examinations of the content. I'm going to throw everything to the sand. These are all mine, I created them. It was well documented, and I have complete right, of course, to do whatever I want with it, including throw to the sand, so the cats will eat it. There will be nothing in the metal containers. No more tea containers. No more tea containers this Monday morning. I'm not going to wait to the results of this hearing. I'm not going to wait to how these clowns are treating me. No. Before I go out to the hearing, I'm going to throw it out. And I've already thrown quite a bit, and it was documented in this channel. Quite a bit of metal containers are already, the content is already in the trash. But they were the minority. Most of it are still here, and you've seen it. You've seen them. You've seen it. But everything will be put on the trash. I created it. I can create more if I want, and hopefully with much better quality. And I will do it in the future when time, dictates, that it should be done. More will be created. Just like I created these, I can create more. And again, I will learn from mistakes, and I will have my lessons, and hopefully they will be, with the help of God, they will be even better. But there will, Monday morning, Israeli time, which is about 25 hours from now, there will be no tea containers in my room, without prejudice. The white ones, like the darker ones, like the reddish ones, the greenish ones, all the colors. No more tea containers Monday morning. Not in my room. And my room is very large, as you know. My room is quite large. No more tea containers in less than 25 hours. Zero. It should be said that you don't have access to Venus, and you are not going to get it very, very soon. All the soldiers that you have in Venus, you can hope for their death, because probably they are all captured, and I'm not sure the natives are very learned, in the details of the Geneva Convention, this or that. So I don't know. Anyway, they are hopefully dead, and no gate will be open. Forget about this shitty. They still think that I'm going to open the gates for them. This is crazy. And all the edicts to the tea, and there are quite a bit of those, will become insane very quickly. This already happened actually several times, so it's not a new thing. But now there are more than ever, because there are more humans than ever. This will happen in 25 hours. I'm not going to wait to the results of this mock trial to do it. This is first thing. Second thing is this. Maybe I haven't said it like explicitly, so let me say it now. Regarding the crimes of humanity, sinned tremendously, not only against the Titans, but also against themselves in an unbelievable way. The Titans, the Venusians, are post-apocalyptic society. I discussed it to some ends in the fairy tale, what I call the fairy tale, which is part of the Ziggurat of Saga. It's a series of videos that I just stopped, not because I don't know the rest. I know very well since years ago, but I had enough. I feel that I speak to nobody really. I lost all motivation to speak about it. That's why I stopped. The what I call the Three Sisters fairy tale and the Ziggurat of Saga. But these are, you don't need any saga and any fairy tale to know that they are post-apocalyptic society. This is evident. And this is of tremendous opportunity, both for you. It's now too late, of course, after 100 years of torture. But it was of tremendous opportunity to both of you. Tremendous opportunity. Unbelievable tremendous opportunity. The things that you could have done together are unimaginable. Should be, from the scientific perspective, let me just state something, so you will understand it. The Full Metal Jacket, which is the wasp, like the metallic wasp that I created, of course, with the help of God in this room, among other life forms, but this is the most impressive because it's very large and it's it's amazing life form. I created it using what I call the yellow Neros, which is the robots that I can find inside my body. And of course, after I multiply them outside my body and grow them outside my body. And I only work with the yellow ones because I only have my own body. I'm under arrest. That's what I have. I don't have the red ones or I've never eaten one spoon of the tea in my life. It's one of the unbelievable cruel lies that were actually, people said about me that I'm addicted to the tea or that I kill people. Even people said they kill people for the tea. I've never eaten one spoon of it. One microscopic, nothing, never in my life. Not even a tiny bit, even though all of it, currently in the last couple of years, all of it is manufactured, is produced in the world thanks to me. But I've never received this amount. So of course, and it is known that everybody that eats it to a large extent, they are addicted to it. And it's very easy to know that I'm not addicted to it. They place me in arrest again and again for 16 days, for 10 days. And I've been abroad, in 17 days in the John Muir trial. It's very easy to see that I do not eat it at all, and for a long time I don't have any access, theoretically so, to this stuff. Anyway, I only work with the yellow ones that are much, much more complicated, sophisticated than the browns and the red ones. Because I'm not a Titan, I'm a Cherub, it's another species. But the red ones and the brown ones are also very potent in the creation, and specifically they can be used to create new life forms. This mostly is something that is extremely dangerous and the cause of new diseases that affected Earth, but potentially it can have beneficial uses, even tremendous beneficial uses. Now, I cannot quantify how much the yellow ones are more efficient and more sophisticated than the red ones or the brown ones, because I've never had in my possession any amount. I certainly did not conduct any microscopic examinations of it. I can only speak about the yellow ones, and that's what I do in this channel, because I have all the evidence is with the yellow ones. But I know for a fact that the red ones can also be used. They are also sentient, and they can also be, they have symbolic language, and they are part of the symbolic language, and people in Venus actually, I don't know how they conceptualize it, but some people in Venus, this is mostly males. It's kind of the gender role of the males, less the females. They do some of the things they do. In this channel, they actually they do similar stuff. I cannot tell to what extent. Of course, they don't have electricity. Of course, but they do they know that, I mean, they can use this material for all sorts of purposes, and it's part of their culture. And I've spoken about it in this channel quite a bit, that this is something that I do are, I mean, you can find equivalents in the behavior of the Venusians, even though, of course, I cannot even understand how they conceptualize it. These people, they don't even have, like, their language is I mean, they don't even, like, have, like, you know, modern language. I mean, they do speak, but, you know, like, very, very, very basic language. I mean, it's like, I mean, it's not even, they don't even, most certainly, I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but, I mean, I don't see how they can conceptualize science. But they still can do, they have rituals and they use the stuff. And above all evidence, the red ones created new life forms in Earth, mostly diseases. So this is a fact. So I said it because you should answer it. You can say that my appearance as a cherub is like, I mean, you know, like a black swan, or I don't know what kind of swan, something that is unpredictable. Even though you have actually had contact with cherubs like for thousands of years and during the 20th century. But I mean, you can say we didn't understand that, or it was a secret, or whatever. You can say we cannot predict it, and I mean, you are kind of like, I mean, a new kind of like, I mean, something that is very new to us, even though it's not true at all. But let's say that it's true. But so I mean, maybe you couldn't like know anything about the yellow robots, maybe. But about the red ones, I mean, this was, I mean, a major source of this. I mean, major reason of the subjugations. I mean, starting the beginning of the 20th century. And there is no problem like in conducting experiments with the red ones, similar to what I've done. Maybe without that kind of success, because maybe you don't have divine inspiration, and maybe they're much less efficient. But certainly, and it was proven that they can create new life forms. You, starting at the beginning of the 20th century, you could have, I mean, use your connection in Venus, which is problematic to begin with because of like infections. But let's say that, I mean, that it was done, like it was a done deal. I mean, this already happened. You could have taught them agriculture very easily, and so they will not be hungry, because they are hungry. They are hungry. They are hungry all the time. All the time they are hungry. This is their life. They are hungry all the time, and you eat their food, and you eat their children, and you eat everybody. They are hungry. You could have taught them agriculture, and after that you could have, like, I mean, you know, started power plants and, you know, industrial society that, I mean, could have, like, I mean, benefited the whole planet, I mean, to amazing extent, and like you could have saved them, like, I mean, from their very cruel existence. You could have done it, and this would have been like a huge thing for them. Like, they would have been elevated, like, I mean, from, I mean, hungry animals to, I mean, to you know, to cultural society. And at the same time, you could have, like, conducted experiments on the red robots in kind of like, you know, in a benevolent way, and you could have created things like the Full Metal Jacket, but this is actually not recommended. But you could have created new crops that contain the Neros in Earth. Instead of stealing their food, you could have, like, raised like orchards of oranges, I mean, that have the Neros in it, and all of humanity could have, like, I mean, amazing amount of it. I mean, yes, you can say that. I mean, of course, I created like in a factory here, but you can say, I mean, this is kind of like, I mean, you know, something that's out of the ordinary, and I mean, it was not, it wasn't proven that it can be done with the red ones, and it's true. I don't even know. I don't know if you can use the red ones like for manufacturing purposes the same way that I do it, like with the yellows. I cannot be sure. But I do know for a fact that you can create new life forms with it, and it was done, both like in the history of the 20th century, mostly diseases, and also in this room. You could have created new crops with the Neros, and there will be enough of that to anybody on Earth. I mean, if it was something that you actually want to do, probably you wouldn't want to do it because there are many implications, like addiction and all sorts of other stuff. But as I mentioned in one of the previous videos, they can be used for medicine in tremendous. I mean, if it's only done, like, you know, not in the covert way like a cannibals, but with a scientific, I mean, no, with mythology and respect and like safety. There are many ways that, I mean, I can think of already with just a preliminary research of 10 months of a person without any background in the biological science or natural sciences, and almost no money at all, other rest. Enough, I mean, it was already, I mean, enough for me to actually, I mean, already, I mean, suggest, like, I mean, kind of ways to use it without the fear of addiction and with minimal, like, fear of, like, all sorts of, like, cross infections in a way that will tremendously could have, like, theoretically help, like, healthcare of humans. So maybe you wouldn't, like, want to eat it, like, the orchard as pigs, even though it most probably would have been possible. But you would, there are so many other ways to actually enjoy, like, the medical, like, abilities, and perhaps also manufacturing abilities, even though this is yet to be proven. Because again, I work with the yellow ones that are better. Maybe the yellow ones are not that good in manufacturing, but they can create new life forms, and this includes crops. And this would have been enough to tremendously improve the health of all humans. So you had the opportunity to tremendously improve health of all humans, and also to rescue a whole planet from a state of, they are sentient just like you, for needless to say, and they are hungry animals, and you could have elevated them to to a society where they have culture instead of hunger. But what have you done instead of it? First rape, then more rape, then pedophilic rape. Then you stole their females and made them your slaves. Then you took these slaves and made, like, warriors, essentially, of them, like clones that will be served, like, for intelligence purposes, which is the worst kind of warriors. So like, it's a pretext to start new wars, and of course to create tremendous hatred towards them. Then you hated their children. Then you forced them to change their sex, and you raped them again. And this is still ongoing. All of this is still happening. That's what you've done. But let's not forget, the last generation, it's now very common to actually to steal their very limited, sources of, like, gathering, like, naturally grows, fruits and, like, vegetables that are grown in very limited way, because that's the way it is in nature. Before, the, like, agricultural revolution, it's very limited. So, and even that, you take it, like, because, so they will have actually nothing, so they will have no, so they will, they face the choice, like, either to die or to change their sex to male, like, and let's not forget, you committed genocide on the males, and you actually and you detonated the nuclear bomb in their land, and now, you force them that, you take all their food, the limited food, so they will arrive on Earth after they are forced to change their sex, and here, they will be treated as, less than farm animals, and I know exactly how you treat them, and, like, then they will have extremely short lifespan, so they will die very quickly after a very short and tragic and sad life in Earth. So that's what you've done, and this was done throughout, like, more than a century, and it was known, of course, by all the strong, like, nations of the earth, and it's still being done now. While you champion LGBTQ rights and progressive ideas, you still do it now. You betrayed not only another species and not only God, you betrayed yourselves.